So I recently got a comment that said I spend hours editing, but I'm not getting a lot of views. So I decided to dive into this channel, and I actually noticed there's 3 things that are killing this channel's views that could be getting way more views. And actually the third thing is something that no one is talking about. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Now I'm first going to bring up the channel. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm looking at, and then we're going to dive into the recent videos and how they can get more views on this channel. So the channel I'm looking at is called The Humble Paint Sprayer. Number one, I think it's super cool. We have someone that's doing, a lot of car repairs, body repairs, car spraying, all of that. Number one, they have 2,000 subscribers, so great job, almost 3,000 subscribers, 117 videos, and like I said, on average, 2,000 to 3,000 views of video. So you are getting views, but to your standards, you want to have higher views, because I've gone to your most popular 10 months ago, which is 6,000 views. So you haven't really broken out of the 10,000, the first 10,000 viral video yet. But I think you are right there, because number one, you found an audience. These are people that are coming back. They want to see more of your content. But there is, again, 3 things that I would focus on if I was you. So let's talk about the first thing. The first thing we're going to talk about is the thumbnails real quick. So with the thumbnails, you're going to see that I see, number one, a lot of text on there, right? Also, the text is kind of a little distracting of what's going on. I don't think you need to add all of this in there. So that's one thing I would first look at with your thumbnails, is take out some of this text. And then you make sure this, when you put a thumbnail up, you got to think of this. You need to explain it without using words. So first, you should have a picture that explains somewhat of what's going on in the video without having to explain it in words. And I think you did this right here, where you have a little, it looks like a little buffer on where you're going over the car repair with polishing. That's something that picture alone tells me you're doing something where you're either buffing the car out or you're doing some sort of paint repair, right? Which is what your video is about. So I would keep that in there. Now, what I would do is maybe zoom in a little bit more on that. And again, you don't have to put any of these other things in here where it says spraying 3-stage pearl white. You don't need to know any of that. Right now, it's a white car because I can see that. And I also know that you're doing something with the repair of the paint, right? Now, what I would add in there for text, you could do one thing where you can either put Aston Martin, because that's a big name. That's something that a lot of people would be looking up and interested in. So that's maybe one thing I would dive into. Or I would put something that, again, has more curiosity to it. So maybe do, one simple fix, or this worked, or I'm shocked. Like 2 to 3 words of something that's really powerful that makes people want to click on that more. And I think that number one is going to help your click-through rate, but it's also going to help impressions going out. Then more people are going to be seeing your videos, and instead of just passing it, they're going to have a better chance of clicking on those videos. So thumbnail, that's the first thing I would look at for your channel specifically, would be the thumbnail. The next part is I actually went into your video, and I'm going to go just for the first 30 seconds, and you're going to see the difference that I want you to do with your video. So if I go to the first 30 seconds, it took 8 seconds before you even came on the camera. So you lost me in 8 seconds. Unless I was a loyal fan to your community, I'm probably leaving. So the first 8 seconds, especially the first 5 seconds, is the most important. We like to say the first 30 seconds, but those first 5 are really important, because you need to have some sort of point of, number one, what your title is and how that goes along with what your video content is about. So making sure it relates, but then also grabbing the attention of the viewer. You putting a screen up on there makes me not want to watch the rest of the video, only because that's not what I came here for. I didn't come for the graphic of, your channel. I came for the advice you're going to give me in this video. So that's one thing I would just take out of. Now, old YouTube used to be like that, where you used to put your little, channel little banner or whatever and pop it up and make music behind it and all of that. That YouTube is gone, right? A lot of people now, short attention span, they're going to be gone because they're there for one reason. That is whatever your video content is about. And I'm either going to skip through it or I'm going to just leave the video. So that's very crucial in the beginning. I would take that out immediately. Not enough people talk about that, but I would get right to the point. The other thing is, in this video, in the first 30 seconds, you go on to say, all right, welcome back, guys. If you saw the other video, I did this, blah, blah, blah. 90% of your viewers are not returning. So that means they are new browse feature recommended viewers. They've never seen your content before. So you're only talking to about maybe 10% of the reviews you're getting coming in. So you need to have more attention for the new viewers, because 90% of them are new viewers. So you want to attract them, not your old viewers. They were always going to watch your videos, right? It's the new ones that you want to bring into the community, right? So instead of welcoming people back, what you need to do is you need to say, all right, so in this video, we're going to be showing you the Aston Martin corrosion repair. And you know what? I did this in 3 steps. The third step actually is super powerful. Make sure you stay tuned for that. And then you go right into the video. So really quick, punch to the point. Again, not welcoming any viewers, just letting them know the content and the value that you're giving, okay? The final thing, now it's funny because this is the final thing. This is step number 3. However, in the recording process, this is actually step number 1, which is your title. Your title is the most important part of this video. And I truly believe if you just fix your titles, you're going to ultimately start getting more views, because number 1, you need a sexy title to put out there to get people to, number 1, click, but also for YouTube to recommend it to the right people. So that way you can, again, get more impressions on your videos. So I'm going to just go through some of the recent ones that you've done, and I'm going to critique them and try something else that I think would work better. So let's go to the one from 9 days ago. It has 2,000 views, and it is spraying bumpers on a budget. Okay, so not a bad title. Okay, spraying bumpers on a budget, pretty cool, but it's also, in a sense, boring to the audience. They want something that has a little bit more pop to it, something that makes them want to click on it. You know, I might not want to click on it. The only reason I'm clicking on it is because you said on a budget, right? So what I would do is play off of that a little bit. So I came up with a title for that one, and that title is How I'd Spray a Bumper Flawless Even on a Budget. And even on a budget is in quotes. So right now you're telling them, number 1, teaching them how to spray a bumper, but flawlessly. Like, you want it to look nice, right? But you also want to be able to do it on a budget. So I'm hitting 2 things, right? One is being on a budget, right? And maybe not having a lot of money, not a lot of time to go into spraying this bumper. But the other thing is, how can you do that but still making it look good, right? And that's where the flawless comes in, right? So how I'd spray a bumper flawless even on a budget. Okay, so that's one I would change for that. Now the other one is these 2. You did a part 1, part 2. I wouldn't do a lot of part 1s, part 2. I would just keep them as 2 separate videos. You don't necessarily need to do part 1, part 2. Now I know your video, the first one was 43 minutes long, so you kind of had to go into that. But you can reference it, but I wouldn't necessarily have to do part 1, part 2, okay? Now, I'm going to give you what I would do on either one, the first one or the second one, the title change. Because originally you have spraying a blending 3-stage pearl white Aston Martin corrosion repair part 1, okay? The first thing that stuck out to me was Aston Martin corrosion. So Aston Martin, big name car, that's something I'm going to probably be looking at. Even if I'm not into, repairing, I might look at it because I want to see an Aston Martin and how you repair it, okay? The second thing is you're picking out the color of it, and I know you're spraying it and blending it, right? So instead, what I would do is, again, I want to make it more of a sexy title so people and the browse can want to click on it and really engage with it. And so I would change it to this, still using the Aston Martin, because I do think that's a staple. Using some brand name cars for your niche would be perfect. So I would do something like this: Aston Martin was suffering from corrosion until I did this. Because now what you did is you added the curiosity factor, so where you're not telling them exactly what you're doing. Like right here, you already told me you're spraying and blending a 3-stage pro white, okay? Not a lot of curiosity there. I know what you're doing, okay? So I might kind of just click past your video, or I might just watch it for a second and then move on, but I'm not going to get any value out of it. I want to get value out of it. So if I do this, Aston Martin was suffering from corrosion until I did this, there's 2 things. One, I want to see how bad was this Aston Martin beat up, or how bad was the corrosion, right? Because maybe it's something similar to my car or a car I'm repairing. And the second is, there's a trick that you did, or there's something you did to fix that, right? I want to see what that is to fix it. Now, you didn't give me that in your title. You just told me that you repaired it, helping me know that you repaired the car, which is great. But maybe there's something different that I don't know about compared to everyone else that says repair in their titles, right? We know they're repairing it, but maybe there's a trick that I've never learned that you're going to share with me in your video. And so that's where you do this. Aston Martin was suffering from corrosion until I did this. And make sure in that video, you also, in the beginning, in that hook, you're putting your point in there of one of the steps that you might have taken to help, you know, restore this car and make it look back to brand new. So we talked a lot about the titles right there, and it's perfect because I actually have a swipe file where we create 10 of the best outliers. Actually, both of those that I just created for him, I actually got from our hooks template. So all you gotta do is comment hooks down below. It is a free swipe file. We will send it to you. It'll give you 10 of the best outliers that we use. And again, all you gotta do is plug into your niche, so that way you are able to have these outlier titles that will generate more views on your channel. So make sure you comment hooks down below and we'll send that to you. And I know in the question, he talked about editing and how it's spending hours and hours on editing. Well, we actually shot a video right here where you can see where we do minimal edits and we still generate a lot of views. So go check that video out over here and we'll see you there.